That was so cold.
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
What were you doing? Were you dancing? That's good. That's gonna be the intro right there.
Yeah. Hi everyone, welcome back to The Creative Contrast. My name is David J. Fulda.
I'm Giancarlo Pawlak.
And as you can see, today we have a special guest with us.
Sarha. What's your Instagram?
It's Sarah Hannah.
The reason why we have a special guest today is that today is going to be our very first challenge video. Now, to choose our challenge that we'll be doing, we actually have a cup here filled with a whole bunch of different challenges on strips of paper. Sarah, why don't you pick one of those out? Tell us what it says.
Hold on, drum roll. Go for it.
The blind camera challenge.
Oh.
Ouch. Okay.
So the reason I'm laughing is Giancarlo just sold all of his lenses.
It was a good deal. Don't judge.
So that means he'll be using my camera. So he has an extra challenge in that it's a camera he's never used before. And it's an APS-C camera, so the field of view is a lot different too. So the blind camera challenge is something that GC and I came up with. We have to guess our exposure, our aperture, our ISO, everything.
There's no viewfinder, there's no EVF, there's no aids, there's no guides, there's no nothing. We are completely blind. So it could be really good.
Or really bad.
Sorry, Sarah.
Hopefully we get at least one shot that Sarah can use in her portfolio.
Fingers crossed.
And we're going to give ourselves a time limit of 5 minutes to get the photo. How about we head outside, put some coats on?
You ready?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Perfect, let's go. That was so cold.
Yeah, it was chilly out there.
Yeah, and it was a lot more difficult than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, I mean, did you have a good time? What did you think of it?
I just thought it was really cold.
Hey, she's honest.
What was the biggest challenge for you?
Very weird. Weird to not be able to compose the way we normally do in terms of whether it be an EVF or a viewfinder in my case. So you're literally shooting blind. You're sort of guessing that if you point the lens in that direction, you get it right. I unfortunately chopped her head off in a few frames. But otherwise, yeah, I think that was the biggest hurdle that I had. How about yourself?
For me, I was really worried about exposure and kind of looking through at the back of the camera after we were done. I think I nailed it. And also just like knowing where she was in relation to everything else. There's a few where she's way on the bottom of the frame for me. You know, like we had to crop a little bit. Giancarlo cut Sarah's head off a couple times.
Heads are overrated.
On the screen right now, you can see Giancarlo and I's favorite shot that we got. And you can see we did pretty well.
You chose the Riverside Bridge, which is a historic bridge here in Toronto. It's beautiful, and the light was coming in, and the crosshatch of the ironwork is beautiful. And I went for sort of my fallback, very rustic, brick, industrial type look.
Something that I found really interesting, that because you and I are both familiar with this focal length, we shot on the 23mm f2, which is about a 35mm full frame. Our familiarity with that focal length allowed us to pre-visualize everything. If we were using a zoom lens, it would have been a lot more difficult because it's harder to pre-visualize when you don't know exactly where you are. In our challenge cup, we have something that's sort of along those lines, which we might see in the future.
If anything, that was a bit of a saving grace, right? Because we were shooting so wide, with the exception of me cutting her head off, it was good because it gave us a lot of sort of room to play, and that's also, I mean, I guess a tip in that case, that if you're sort of unsure, you're better off to go wide because, these crop in and make a mediocre shot into something better.
Thank you guys so much for watching.
If you enjoyed the video, please hit that like button.
And if you guys try this on your own, which I highly recommend, let us know how you did in the comments below.
And if you like the video and the content we're producing, please hit the subscribe button.
And as always, stay creative.